Alright, welcome back to Varnum's Auto. Here we go, here we go. Got one head off, and that's on the driver's side. Now if y'all can really actually see, we're going to try to see if we can put a little bit of light on. See if that might help. There's our valves. Looks pretty good, it's just dirty. Get them things cleaned up. We'll dig more into them heads. I went on ahead and pulled the odd number side, which is driver's side, roller lifters out, and slightly pulled up the even number, which is passenger side, roller lifters up, so we can get the cam out. I'm gonna tell y'all, that first load, that cam bearing, it's all the way down to the bronze. Here's our roller cam. Here guys, this is where I was showing y'all on the first cam bearing. You ain't even got to put your fingernail on that. You can feel it with your finger. It's a little quiet, but I'm digging a fingernail in it, and you can hear the score in that cam. One, two, three. You could barely feel number 4. But every one of them, because it not having no oil like it's supposed to, it pretty much screwed that cam. Which that's okay, because we're going to put a hog leg in it. We're going to put a hog leg in it that's literally got some horses behind that sun gun. So that cam's pretty much wiped out. There is the other head. I did some little researching on these heads. These are the good partial of the year of these vortec heads. They are the 906 heads. Really ain't got to do nothing to them, and they can hold up anywhere between 6 to 8, maybe 900 horsepower. That's without doing anything to it. Did a little bit of researching. There's the casting number of the engine block. That is 10 24 38 80. I did a little bit of a researching on that, and it is a 1996 vortec, and I think that motor was made in Mexico. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they said that that motor from factory, it was producing somewhere between 260, maybe 280, 290, something like that in the horsepower. But when me get done with it, she gonna have a whole lot more horsepower. Enough said. Went out and got a timing gear puller. we'll just say it the correct way, a gear puller. I tried to get one loaned to me at the AutoZone yesterday evening, just so I can pull the timing gear off the crank. And the guy that was there, apparently he misunderstood what I was asking for, and he gave me a totally different gear puller that would not have worked whatsoever. So what we're going to do, we're going to install the bolt back into the crank. If you don't drop it. I got a little bit of intel from my buddy this morning. He told me that the man I'm doing this work for, not on this motor, but doing the engine swap out, that he'd seen the truck that he's got, that he's gonna have me to replace, putting to this truck. He says he's home, he's got it, but I have not heard from the man, not yet. Alright. So, we got it pretty much cramped down on the crank gear. We're going to get us a wrench or a socket. We're going to do the righty-tighty. We're going to pull that timing gear crank off. Let's see. Looks like that could be. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look for my doggone tools. I got them all scattered out like a dum-dum. Yeah, let's see. Yep. Alright, that was a 13mm socket. She pulled that bad boy right on off of there like she was meant to do. Now we can take the crank bolt off. Some people don't like using the crank bolt. I use it because it don't really do nothing. Thread's still good. Timing gear come clean right off. Nothing's wrong with it. So we're in good hands with that. So now Ben, how the only reason why I left the passenger side head on is because I was so curious about how the cam looked. I went ahead and took the driver's side head off. I got a little ahead of the game without y'all being here watching. So now we know exactly what we are really working with on the cam and the bearings. I already knew that we was gonna have to knock these old bearings out and have to install new ones. So once we disassembled the passenger side head, I know we left off the camera cut off because it didn't have any more recording time. We were on processing taking the rockers off. So I went ahead and completed that. That's why the driver's side head's off. But I wanted to save this for y'all to see what the process is on there. And I think there are 17 bolts for these heads. And I do believe too they are 13, yep, they are 13 millimeter bolt heads. And we're going to use our brake bar, our pull handle, wherever it's at. Oh, yep, I see it. 1/2 inch, of course. Really don't want to use no daggone, don't want to sit there and try to use no stinking old 3/8 on busting some heads off, busting them bolts loose, because they pretty daggone torqued down. I'll try to see if I can't. Dang, that thing full of water. Let me try to get something to sit y'all guys on so y'all not sitting on the ground as much. Get this here cooler top cleaned off some. Get this here cooler run over here. Well, get y'all seated right here. See what kind of view we got, huh? See if we can't zoom in just a little bit. Whoa, that was way too much. I think that view in that zoom looks pretty decent to me. So we're gonna try that right here. All right. Ladybird, hush, girl. Gonna get the dipstick out the way before we start busting these bolt heads loose. Come on now, son. Come on. All right. I got that out the way. Now we can go ahead and start busting bolts to the heads. Oh, shoot! Pitched my doggone hand in the socket. Daggone it, that hurt. Oh, oh, oh. You crackhead. Son of a gun. Pretty much all you do. And once you get the head bolts broke loose, spin your brake bar around just a couple of times. Then you take your socket off and put it on your 1/2 inch impact. This is still like brand new. It hasn't been broken in very good yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 bolts on the heads. So just to let people know, the ones that are by the spark plug, they are the shortest bolts on the heads. And there's 8 of them. Spark plugs in the center and 2 bolts on the heads on the sides of the spark plug. And then you pull out the long ones. That one is shorter. So there are 3 long ones that are closer to the valve spring. And then there are 4 long ones by where the nut is for your rocker. and your pivot ball. Alright. Now we are ready to take the bolt, we'll take the head and crack the seal on it. Alright, now we are able to pick the head up. Come on now. And there is our head. From what I can see, these valves they're dirty, but they look pretty decent. But other than that, now we can take that big old heavy thing and set it to the side. Now we got our hold down plate for these roller lifters. There are 4 of them. We'll lay these to the side. We're going to pull out these roller lifters. Sorry about my dog barking, guys. It's just her doing her job. She is a full-blooded blue pit bull. And you're gonna have to go on somewhere now. The death spirit's done took enough of my family. Not trying to push it off on anybody else's, but now I'm getting fed up with that. Having to literally rock the roller lifters out because of the board and the lifters is coated with dry oil, and it's made it tough to get the lifters out. some people will watch this and say, oh no, don't do that, you're gonna screw up your lifter bores and blah blah blah. There might be a burr on the lifter, is why it's doing that. No fellas, it's just straight out, dried up, caked up oil that has caused this to happen. So don't panic, don't freak out. If you ever go through a process like this, that's all you got to do. It's a little tougher doing it with the heads on, especially if you do what I did with my truck when I installed the cam and new lifters, pulling the old cam, pulling the old lifters out with the heads on the truck still. Had a limited space to do what I'm doing right now. It took me a while doing it with my truck still having the heads on. If you are capable of taking your heads off, that would be your best solution to go with. So that's the processing of taking lifters out. I promise you guys, it does not hurt the lifter bores doing this. Because if it did, I would not be doing this. Alright. Now here's your roller lifter. Got you a little steel wheel right there on the bottom. I swear I hate these stupid planes, man. All that damn crap for nothing. But that's less friction and all that good stuff on your cam when it does its rotating. Of course, we all know the lifter goes up with the load and it rides ever so slightly with a film of oil in between that roller and the cam, but it's a whole lot less wear on your cam and on your lifter, and it actually helps you with a little bit of horsepower. Alright. Now that's all said and that's all done. Don't really have enough light to show you guys, so we're gonna wait until I get the crank off and whatnot, the pistons and the crank and all that, and then I'll show you still how very decent looking the bore is on these pistons. And now we're probably, I don't know, just taking a wild guess, probably about 85 pounds lighter now, somewhere in that range. So I won't be having such a hard time rotating my engine. That damn son of a bitch and boat. Well, shit. I don't know how I'm gonna accomplish this. Alright, yeah, I got it now. Thank you. Thank you guys for your help. Alright. Now we got the engine flipped back over. And now it's time to disassemble the oil pump. I can't even remember what the name of this is, but we're going to take that off. We're going to start with our pistons afterwards, one at a time, and then we'll go and do our main caps, because when we do our piston, the caps on them and on our main caps, we're going to take a punch and we're going to punch it. You know, this is number one, this is number two, hit it 2 times. Same way with the caps on the piston connecting rods. So a little procedure you got to do when you're doing all this stuff, because you can't just take everything off, because you take everything off all at one time, then you got a mismatch of this and that and the third. You know, just doing it for 2 reasons: keeping it in order, and there might not be nothing wrong with these mains on the crank, so might be in good shape with that. I don't know yet. It does spin pretty easy. I'm not going to try because I ain't. Whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and do all this right here. Alright? Let's get to it. This plate here is 14 millimeters. We ain't going to be able to take it off all the way yet until we get this oil pump taken off. Not unless I get me a, that's what I'm going to do. We'll go ahead and zap the ones off that I can with the 9/16. There's a bolt right here that I assume that it could be a 5/8. I have a 5/8. Where's it at? It's sitting around here somewhere. Somewhere. I got a 5/8. And it's right here. And that's what that bolt is. It's 5/8. So we might end up getting a 5/8 hand wrench for this one and for that one, and just go ahead and zap these two off. Lady bird. Lady bird. All right, we got us a 5/8. It's got a socket on it. Oh Lord, that one off. Switch back around to the 5/8. Come on now, Cletus. Work with me. Now we got the plate off. And that bolt there that was 5/8, that goes to your oil pump. Now we can pull the oil pump out. Very surprising that this nylon collar right here has not been broken. But that is your oil pump. There's a piece of bearing. All right. I'm just so curious over the two well-known rods that are knocking Then how they are positioned just right. I believe we're gonna just go ahead and pop the caps off of the connecting rods on them. That's the rod knocking, cuz. That's that rod knocker, cuz. See if we got us a 14 or 15 sitting around here. Yeah, we got us a 14 millimeter. See, I get so excited I get ahead of myself. We're gonna find us that punch and a hammer so we can go ahead and mark these. Alright guys, here we got a punch and a hammer. We are going to dot our caps, connect them rods, whatever. Make sure you pay attention because it is upside down. The best way to realize what side you're on is you would want to look at this bracket that's supposed to be there for you to help pull your engine. This is actually the driver's side. This is all your odd number sides. So we know that the very first piston is number 1, and that's going to be your first connecting cap, connecting rod, whatever. So we're going to smite that one good time. We're going to try to get it right in the center. And there's one good smite. We'll put it back on that spot again. And I hit it again so it can have a nice indentation. And then we'll go to number 2. Right in the center. A little popper. Going back to that same one. And that's my second indentation. And make sure you keep a hold of your punch. That's some hard steel you're punching up against. It will do that. Then how I didn't get that second punch on the second dot. Just lightly do it again. So here we go here on the main cap. We're going to hit that one good time. Go back to it again. That's one good indentation. Then we'll go to the second main cap. That was 2 hits and 1 punch. So that's number 2. This is going to be number 3. Going off the number 4 main cap. Yeah. Soon, eventually, I'll be out of this dirt. When? I'm not sure. I'm really contemplating on trying to get a shop built just big enough to do work in, get out the weather, and be on somewhat of a concrete floor. And I'm gonna do that over at my granddaddy's house. But meanwhile, we got 1 punch, 2 punch, 3 punch, and 4 punch. Don't need to do the back one because that's where your oil pump goes up, hooks up to. So it's basically marked itself. And just to let y'all know too, I didn't really have to do this. I just wanted to show y'all guys that that's how a lot of guys do it. But these main caps, they got numbers on them. I could have easily wrote the numbers down to keep them in order, but I don't want to have to dig through paperwork or anything like that. So we got number 1 connecting rod cap and number 2 dotted, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna remove these 2 off right on head off gate. All right. I'm not. What I gonna look for my doggone rag? Take that, Lord have mercy. Alright. Well, my impact, gracious. I'm getting so excited about this, it's driving me crazy. Yep, I knew I was going to have to get me my long pull handle. I'll be right back, guys. That's why I say my long pull handle. It's about 24 inches long. I'm gonna do number 2 the same way. Go ahead and try to get me another 14. And we can use the other socket on the 3/8 impact and just jack these caps off. The doggone bearing is off of the cap. But that's no problem, guys. Here comes out our #1 piston. Come on, Charlie. Charlie. Alright, there's our #1. Anyways, here's our #1 piston. The top 2 rings are good. They're moving. Oil ring. I don't know if y'all can see, but there is an indentation here on the side of this piston head. That's actually how it goes in the bore. We'll see if we can wipe this here off. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you can't. Well, yeah, you can feel just a little bit. It's supposed to be exactly smooth as glass. Nice finished glass feeling. That's wiped out. That's no good. Alright. So we're gonna see if we can't pop out our bearing for that. Oh yeah. That's a wonder. That bearing right here, guys. I'm gonna try to show y'all this. I'm gonna try to turn on the back side of the camera to see if y'all are able to see what I'm looking and trying to show y'all. Look at that score in that bearing. That come off of piston number 1. That's bad. That's like super bad. Bad. But anyway, you can barely feel the groove in that journal. So we got piston number 1 down and out. We're gonna zap off the other cap from number 2. Take her hammer and give it a little love tap. And out it comes. That one's pretty much shot too, so he basically not just only number 5 and number 6 that was truly knocking, but he also had a slight knocking on the rest of the piston rods. So there's number 2 pops out. That's, yeah. Not worried about trying to save these or keeping these in line or in order. I'm just pretty much doing it for main purposes of showing my buddy and the old man that owns the vehicle, to let him know and to show him that what I told him, that I made a right decision to him about doing a motor swap instead of rebuilding this, because he said he was on a tight budget just like I am on doing anything to this engine. So for as of right now, being how I'm on the status of everything I do, as long as I keep recording, I'm gonna eat up my time with y'all watching this video. Y'all watch me take 2 pistons out. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pause y'all until we get to our main caps of our crank, and then we're gonna show y'all what's up with the crank. Alright guys, here we go. Man just dropped the truck off. I drove it off the trailer. And there we go. We got us another 5.7 vortec. Got all the whistles hooked up to it just like the other one. So we're basically gonna have to disassemble everything off of it just like we did in the first video of the vortec engine pool. We're gonna try to get on that as soon as possible. Truck starts right up, runs good. I drove it around the block and it drives good. It's got a 4-speed on it, I believe. Let me double check so I'm not lying. Oh, it's got 5-speed. Sorry guys. 5-speed. Right there. It's got the long handle shifter on it. It's got a 4-wheel drive to it. Seats look pretty doggone good. But other than that, all in all, she's a good truck. Has the Virginia rust on it. I'm gonna start it up so y'all can hear it run. No engine code, as y'all can see. There's the whole cluster. The only things lit up is the brakes. It runs good. So that's going to be our replacement for the maroon Chevy. But the wire pipe's doggone freaking bent. That sucks that the wire pipe's bent. But that's what we got going on. And it is a 1996. So now we're going to go back to finish off on this here pistons and the crank. By the time I got to number, I can't remember what number piston I got to before the old man come up. Got to number 3. Get ready to take off number 4 and on down. Like I said, once we get to the main caps, I'll cut y'all back on. I just wanted to give y'all an update on the vortec and that Chevy pickup. It is a Chevrolet Z71, and we'll get back with y'all. Alright guys, welcome back. I want to see if y'all guys can focus in on number 5 and number 6. Y'all see what I see? Y'all see that? And I swear to you, I promise you, that is not no cat there, no bear in that. Y'all can see the scratches right there. Y'all see how number 6 had literally chewed that up. My goodness. I seen some messed up journals for connecting rods, but that's wow. That's just wow. That's crazy. But on the main, wow, the mains, they look good. Straight up, they look pretty daggone good. Straight up, y'all. Blew my mind when I seen how good that looks. But as of what I can see in the cylinders, I still got the engine upside down. It's going to be a little hard to show y'all right now. But I believe the cylinders are pretty squared away. Alright everybody, there's the whole crank that come out of that Vortec 5.7. Finally got the rear seal off, had to take the flywheel off, yada yada, etc, etc. We do know that number 5 and number 7, I meant number 5 and number 6, I'm sorry guys, was the main 2 rods that are knocking. Number 6 journal had took the most beating in the rod knocking, so the crank is going to have to be replaced. Will not even dare ask if they can turn that. Don't want to be laughed at. So I'm just going to get an oversized crank. I know I said I might do a 383 stroker on that 5.7. I really don't think I'm going to go that route because I am on a tight budget doing this engine rebuild. The cylinders, they are in fairly decent shape, and to be honest with you, there's no ridge at the top of the cylinder, which is quite amazing to me. I'm gonna have the engine taken care of at the shop, at the machine shop. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the heads. I might get them cleaned up, reseat them, and get some new valve seals and springs for them. I might put some LS springs on there because of the cam that I'm thinking about putting on. That's gonna be one of the last things that I give any kind of detail on the cam. I'm gonna put in this rebuilt 350. But from here on out, the teardown on the Vortec 5.7 is completed. It's done. Now it's time to move this old girl here out the way so we can, way over there at my granddaddy's house, about 45, feet or so across the street. We're going to drive